Hi everyone, Michael McVety, President of Red Fortress Property Management here with another legal update for Southwest Florida. Today's topic is going to be talking about a new law change coming into effect next week for Cape Coral, Florida, and the topic is how not to lose $1,000 or more to the city of Cape Coral in 2026. Again, I'm Michael McVety, President of Red Fortress Property Management. I've been a landlord and also property manager, second generation, I may add, for over 25 years. But the 25 years plus, we'll just kind of keep that to ourselves, all right? So today we're going to talk about the new laws that have come in. Like I said, it's been passed about 2 months ago, and it's going to be coming in next week. So we want to make sure that everybody knows about it and is compliant about it. So a couple of things. First of all, this dates back to 2021. I'm going to talk a bit about it. So again, I've been involved with the local property management board, the Southwest Florida chapter of NARPM, and NARPM is the National Association of Residential Property Managers. So I've been involved for 25 years continuously with the local property management board, and we're going to talk a bit about how this all started back in 2021 and how it kind of moved forward today. So kind of like a legislative update, if you'd like, after 4 years. We're going to talk about how the process is now new and changed, and we're finally going to talk about the registry application. So let's get back to the first point here in 2021. So I was privileged to be on a call with Richard Carr back in March of 2021 when they first brought up this idea from code enforcement saying we need to have a registry for properties that are rentals, annual, seasonal, whatever the case is, because he was saying that what happens is that if there's a situation where, let's just say, there's a code enforcement issue or there's an eviction and there's trash all over the yard, something like that, they didn't have the ability to contact somebody and say, hey, listen, fix this up. So in March of 2021, myself, another property manager, and an attorney called with Richard, had a call on Zoom and said, hey, listen, what's going on with this legislation? We were very concerned. We're always concerned about new legislation and how it doesn't just affect us and maybe you as an owner, but also the renters, because very often they try to pass laws that help the renters, but in actuality, they hurt renters, either through hurting the owner or us or whatever the case is, or the renters indirectly. So we talked about our concerns about this, and he says, no, this is just a one-time thing. We just want to have it on record so that if something happens, we know who to call, and it's going to be a one-time charge for $35. And sure enough, in October, the same year of 2021, they started up with a one-time fee of $35 to register this. So that's what we did. So here's the original brochure. It came out, the Cape Coral, they talked about scanning and your rental registration requirements. And then, of course, it comes into which properties must be registered. They talked about 4 units or under, which is still the case. Federal buildings are obviously not going to be included in this. They talk about single family homes, and also like you can't just break a single family home up into 5 units and say that you get to avoid this registration. They talk about a single family home or multifamily with 1 address, okay? And so that here it is again, there's a one-time registration fee of $35, which is what Red Fortress did, and we started filling out all these forms and everything was fine. So now we fast forward to last month, where we get an email that, again, the City of Cape Coral Council voted, so it has nothing to do with code enforcement, so to speak, but the legal representatives that are elected voted to change that, and now we have new guidelines. So like we said, back in 2021, hey guys, let's make sure this is one time. We have a lot of reservations about it. We want to make, things affordable for people here, and sure enough, guess what happened? So the new city council says basically, hey, starting January 1, all rental properties must be registered. You have to do annual registry for $35 for annual rentals and an annual registry for short-term rentals in Cape Coral for $350. And if you don't do that and they find out later, you're going to be fined $1,000 for the first violation, $2,000 for the second violation, and then it keeps on going with late fees and so forth. Now, it's interesting because I reached out to Cape Coral 3 times to find out what's going on. I left 2 messages. I called even again today on late in December, and I said, hey guys, it's December 23rd. I said, hey, listen, can you help me out with this process? How is this being enforced? I have a couple of questions on it. Again, I was not able to get a return call over the last week plus. That's okay. I understand that they might be still flushing out the laws and so forth, but again, it gets a little bit tricky. So let's talk about the application, the final thing here, guys. So when you look at this, you have the residential rental property registration form, and part one talks about filling it out for the property owner, I should say. So originally, back in 2021, when we filled this out, we just put our names and said, hey, listen, if there's an issue, give us a call. We'll sort it out one way or the other. Now, when we submitted it with all of our current clients that have rental properties in Cape Coral, they said, no, this new fee coming in annually, you have to put the person's actual email, telephone number, all this sort of stuff. So you first of all start off with a property owner, I should say. Very often the property manager will fill this out. That's what we do for our clients. But if you're a landlord, you have to fill out yourself. Then the second of all, you have property manager filling this out and their contact information. And then the third part of it, if you want, is it goes into your individual properties. If you have multiple ones, obviously you put up different addresses. You have to indicate what type it is, number of rental units, and then maybe if it's in an association or something like that, that you can put the name of it and go from there. And that, in a sense, is what's going to happen. Now, what should happen, we're not entirely sure because I couldn't get clarity on this, is we were talking to them and said, hey, listen, I hope that you send us, as the property manager and the representative for the owner, the invoices to us so that we can pay you guys in the city of Cape Coral. We're going to see. There's not a lot of clarity on that. We don't know if and when they're actually sending out the actual invoices. So are the invoices going to be sent out January 2nd or January 10th? And if so, are they to us and the owner, just to us ourselves? Again, I couldn't get any clarity on this. And then there's a 30-day kind of, once you get these invoices, to pay them. Otherwise, you're going to get some type of late fee. Now, I don't really know how the violations are going to be charged. Who knows? So what I mean by that is, if you say you have a rental property in Cape Coral and you're doing an annual or seasonal rental, and something occurs where the city gets involved, I'm not sure what that might include, but let's just say it's a code issue for whatever reason. I don't know whether, if they find out that you have a rental property and there's some code issue, that if you don't have it registered with the city of Cape Coral, now you have in addition $1,000 fine. So I'm not really sure how this entire process is going to work. I'll keep following up with them to see, maybe in the new year they might have a bit more of the policy flushed out. But in a nutshell, that's the new law that's coming in about a week. So as always, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me by email. It's mike@redfortresspm.com. mike@redfortresspm.com. And I really hope this helps you, whether you're a landlord, a property manager, or anybody else that's looking and investing in Cape Coral. So have a great day, and look forward to talking with you with the next educational video we produce. Take care. Thank you. Bye-bye.